that feed me.
Correct.
I can even buy me.
You can't even take yourself to that restaurant knowing that that is all you have.
No.
Correct.
I can't.
Correct.
So that describes the state of the nation. And if you look at, for example, the requests from people.
Yes.
Daily requests. People are fundraising to bury the dead, school fees, transport, nini, everything.
Yes.
So you ask yourself, where is the government in all this?
Correct.
When you look at the plight of our people who are struggling daily, who have serious, cannot survive economically.
Yes.
Yeah. Look at the unemployment in our country today.
Yes.
It's upwards of what? Maybe almost 70%.
Correct.
As they say.
Correct.
Yeah. So that means you have got a youthful generation in this country that's without means.
Yes.
And for us, maybe for me, who has expressed interest in public office, and you can ask this any member of parliament, anybody elected, including even yourself.
Yes.
I'm sure now if you look at your M-Pesa account, Duncan, your villagers must be harassing you daily.
Correct.
Yeah?
In fact, they should not know that I host this show. Because they will judge me by the people I host.
But the truth of the matter is, the poverty levels, let's go back to our independence pledge.
Yes.
Where we say that upon taking over government from the colonialists, will eradicate at least 3 things.
Yes. Poverty, disease, and ignorance. Correct.
But if you look at now the way people are struggling just to get education, yeah.
Yes.
If you look at the way Kenyans cannot even afford to buy medicine in the hospitals, in the dispensaries.
Correct.
Because may I recall, back then, before I went to the University of Nairobi, there was a requirement for health certification. Yeah, and I went to a dispensary, and I got all those things filled. Today,
it's a tall order.
People die waiting to be treated.
Yes.
In these hospitals. Just take a visit, Duncan.
Yes.
To Kenyatta National Hospital.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
You will come back traumatized. How we address issues of health.
Yes.
Poverty now is on the increase. Yet we have got a rich country with a lot of natural resources, especially in the so-called poor parts of this country. For example, the northern frontier districts.
Yes.
The Kenya of the North, as I call it. It's very rich, mineral rich, but we are not exploiting it. So that really creates a very bad, negative state of our nation. Earlier on, I said that if you were to be able to industrialize an economic opportunity in all the 47 counties of Kenya, this country has no business being described as a developing country or a poor country. We are not poor. I earlier on gave you an example of Homa Bay, for example, fishing from Rusinga and Fangano Island. That in 2007 it was pumping 7 billion to the GDP,
national GDP,
of this country. So imagine, supposing we industrialize fish production, they are even value addition. Value addition. You will even decongest, I believe. Some of these slum areas you're talking about here in Nairobi, because people will see opportunities. You go to Turkana, like I keep saying. Fish there die out of old age because nobody's there to eat. We are nomadic persons, so we eat more meat and fish. But suppose we encourage fishing and production and value addition. In Kwale, where are we transporting our theomin raw to other countries? We should industrialize
and set up a plant there and value addition.
And Nankan, at the risk of sounding very unpopular with people who believe in democracies, I like the messaging that is coming from Francophone Africans, especially the ones where the coups have happened. When I listen to Ibrahim Traore, for example, of Burkina Faso, now I've closely actually followed what he says, and the guy from Guinea and Mali, there's one message that really passing. That one, for the longest time, people who claim they are democratically elected are actually hiding behind that being democratically elected, but do nothing for their countries and their nation.
For their people, correct.
And therefore they condemn, for example, say military coups. Okay? But look at the example of Burkina Faso today. They are saying we are handing imperialism, neo-colonialism in Africa. We are handing the exploitation of our natural resources. They are also saying we want the unity of Africa. we're talking about Pan-Africanism. And if you look closely what Traoré is doing in Burkina Faso, some of his flagship projects are very transformational. He's even now setting up a gold diamond processing plant.
Yes.
Because why should Antwerp in Belgium be the capital of gold when they don't even have any gold or diamonds? And yet these diamonds coming from Africa.
From Africa, yes.
So we should do the same thing. And I think that in our country, Kenya here, every county has really an economic opportunity that can be industrialized,
explored for the benefit of the people.
For the benefit of the people, and it will build Kenya.
Yes.
People say when you go to the United States of America, one of the must-visit places is Las Vegas. But look, Las Vegas is a desert. Nevada is a desert. But look, they created smart cities and all that, so that today it's probably the largest gambling, gaming capital.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have billionaires there flying in with their Lear jets, Gulfstream jets, and just going to spend billions. We could still create the Las Vegas of Africa in Turkana, Mandera, Wajir.
Was the Cielo dream failed?
I don't know what happened. You're even reminding me now.
Yes. When you go there, you find a very beautiful airport.
Yeah.
That was part of flagship project, the Devolution 2030. But that town is not enabled, that cannot support that airport.
And by the way, talking of Vision 2030, that's a very good point you brought. You see, all these political parties that say we want, they are not aligning because Kenya already decided that this is our vision.
Correct.
Vision 2030. So the manifestos of these political parties, or whatever they call now the plans, VOV, KK, whatever, must align to that vision and persuade us Kenyans that I am better placed to be able to realize this through my manifesto, but I'm still on the trajectory of Vision 2030.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as we head towards wrapping it up, although having conversation with you can never be exhausted in a day or in a single sitting.
We'll have another session.
Another session. So when we say the public has demanded for a ratio, please indulge us. So you have spoken to the fact that counties have got an opportunity to seize the moment. And we say the principle of subsidiarity, local problems need to be accorded local solution at that local level. Is it about time that we consider defocusing the central government and focus at the county government?
I'm a very strong proponent of taking services to the people's doorsteps.
Yes.
And that's why I am not opposed to the idea of the wards, the 1,450 wards. In fact, as population grows, we may need probably more wards. Let me give you an example, Duncan. When I was a student in the UK, I don't remember.
Cambridge, Nauringi?
No, I didn't go to Cambridge. I went to Warwick. Yeah, and Siringi. But I want to explain to you something. That when I was living in the UK for those 6 years, as I was studying for both my masters and doctorate.
PhD,
I never used to hear people talk about an area MP. They used to talk of a local authority.
Yes.
Now, that local authority was focusing on things that make you live or move your life. Transport.
Yes.
Okay. Firefighting. Is the bus on time? Yeah. So there was never talk about the water, electricity, because those things were assured. Gas, whatever. You move into a house, there's already gas, there's already supply. So, but these things that make you go to make a living, transport, garbage collection, is the bus on time, those things, train service, those are things that mattered. Firefighting, So that's why, for me, I prefer the idea that we focus on the wards.
Yes.
Okay.
As a basic unit of service delivery.
Of service delivery and also development. If, for example, in every ward in this country, you have got a school, a hospital, a clinic that's as medicine or whatever, your kids can actually walk just the next block to school. We will develop this country because I don't know. You are the economist here. Because for me, I don't I'm running away from this idea of macro.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I want to look at the micro.
Yes.
And that takes you to the level.
Yes.
Is the person in the villages having services? You know, one of the things that you will see in the developed world, one of the main thing you will see there is the issue of post office.
Yes.
Or having a shopping center.
Yes.
Where people actually go, you know. So those services that matter to them.
Yes.
I would like us to see the same approach taken in Kenya, where we take services to our people.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And that's what develops a country.
That's what development constitute.
Yeah,
and thank you, Daktari. Then please speak to us about this. We're in a country where we talk of having a public health system, transport system, education system that is public. But to those observers, you and I involved, the only public thing about health sector is the patient. The only public thing about transport is the passenger. What, in your opinion, could be done, particularly in these three sectors, education, health, and transport, to address the problem? Because when you provide services at that basic level, ultimately, that's how we transform countries. But when, even in light of the fact that we are currently having industrial unrest, the medics on streets, so we are slowly turning into a sick nation. All these things are ingredients for a failed project or a failed state. So speak to us about that from a governance perspective. What do you think needs to be done to fix these issues?
So let me give you an example. One time I was traveling to Juba with a friend, former classmate of mine, who had since taken the nationality of Sweden. And he told me, and I think that was almost during the Ebola time.
Yes.
And he told me, Ekuru, do you know today, if I fall sick in Juba, Sweden will send an air ambulance to evacuate him. Yeah. So, to your question, there are certain services that you cannot compromise. For example, education. In my honest opinion, it should be made free, especially up to university level, because it's an investment in your own country.
Are you talking of elimu ya bure or elimu bure?
I'm saying free education.
Free education.
Free education. Yeah, free education. That the government must be able to invest in certain sectors that actually develop a country.
Yes, education being one of them.
Education being one of them.
Correct.
And health being one of them.
Because the idea is through education that you and I have sat here.
Exactly.
We would have not met.
Otherwise I'll be a gun wielding Turkana bandit with the AK-47. But education has brought all of us together.
Correct.
Alu and Turkana now can sit here somewhere in Lavington
and have a conversation.
About the globe, the country, all that. So education is a big investment because it also reduces some of the tensions we have in this country in terms of the way people see each other. You know? So I think for me, it's a matter of investment. It's a matter of being deliberate. That what are the sectors that actually matter? If it's economy, for example, and I want my people to be comfortable, am I able to look for those opportunities, like we earlier said? What are the economic opportunities that obtain in every county, particular area,
that they can capitalize on
it? We localize it, we industrialize it. Then people can even, so that you don't even have to worry now about this housing thing. This housing levy, whatever, you know, because you don't even know the formula on how those houses will be redistributed. But supposing you made people comfortable wherever they are because you have created an opportunity. You know, if it's, for example, infrastructure, road infrastructure, you know, you can easily encourage commerce and trade. Once you build good roads.
That links the market and the farms, the market and the production. So at least there's no wastage, post-harvest losses that comes.
You see, so some of the images painted about, say, us nomadic pastoral communities from the northern part of Kenya is that we are poor. We are not poor. By the time a man has 200 cows or 300 camels, that's not a poor person. But now you need a government, from a governance point of view, as you asked, that will encourage or educate the people to say, you know, you are sitting on wealth. You're sitting on a gold mine. Supposing we could, I mean, because Duncan, even the meat you will eat today for lunch, You know, it comes from the ASAL regions.
Chances are that does not come from here.
It does not come from here.
Yes.
I don't see any cows in Nairobi here, this so-called leafy suburbs of Nairobi.
Yes.
But it comes from those ASAL areas.
Correct.
And those areas, you can actually industrialize meat production.
Yes.
And then even do value addition.
Yes.
Why do we have to buy belts or shoes from Turkey, China, whatever, when we can do our own?
Yes.
We have got so many cows.
Correct.
Yeah? Where does Dubai get meat? And they eat a lot of meat. Comes from us. We export to those countries. So it is the failure of governance in this country to industrialize an opportunity that exists among our people. Yeah.
Yes.
You don't have to have Kenya Meat Commission here in the river when the meat is coming from northern Kenya or the ASAL areas.
Yes.
Why not create an industry there?
Yes.
And you empower your people, because that's also an empowerment, an economic empowerment. Yeah.
Because a while ago, someone asked me two things. One, why is it that a butcherman at your local kiosk, who probably buys meat 5 kg a day, goes home with profit? A whole institution run by the government in the name of Kenya Meat Commission
is failing.
Run into losses every year.
Yeah.
That's one example. That speaks to deliberate effort to subvert the good intentions of the people. The other one, if you walk along government hostels, I bet you'd find the opposite road.
Of course, with a
pharmacies.
Yes, thriving.
And you go to Mama Lucy, for instance. Who is this private business person who can afford a drug that a government cannot afford?
By the way, even when they do drug prescription for you,
yes,
they will send you to a specific clinic.
Correct. They'll tell you here it's not available, but if you go this way, the third, fourth, in the third and the fourth, you might get a chance, but they know very well it is there.
So just to emphasize your point, in terms of governance and development of a country, there are certain key sectors you cannot negotiate with.
Correct.
And I think you rightfully mentioned health, economy, employment, those things. I'll give you an example. Again, I was in college that time in the UK when Blair was the Prime Minister. And there's something I picked about Blair, what he addressed. Blair said he was concerned about the health budget. I think the equivalent of NHIF. I think we call it NIS there. So Blair, as a leader, as a Prime Minister, said that what is overstretching the health budget? It is your habits. You're not eating well, you're not eating healthy, you're not exercising.
Correct.
And he said, we need to change our lifestyle. And as a Prime Minister, maybe you can say he has no business speaking about how I live my life, what I eat. But he was saying, because of your eating habit, you're overstretching the health budget.
Correct.
So, and those are things you cannot underestimate. And I think it should, like for me, I always see leadership as a value that must cascade downwards.
And it's an enabler.
Yeah. So it's a leadership question. You have to look at society and say, okay, we have a problem in the health sector. We have a water problem. Speak to it. And do something about it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Even if it's something that is private to people, but it has an impact on the way you govern a country or in the way your country is being seen. Yeah. I think as a leader, you must be able to talk about those issues without any fear.
That's nice. That's nice. Thank you so much. And as we head to a home stretch in about a few minutes, we wish to thank you so much, our viewers, and ask those who have not subscribed to be part of this conversation. Click subscribe so that you're able to be part of this conversation and are able to continue supporting us to make these productions in the days to come. Daktari, as we near the end of this conversation, much has been said about what is ailing us, where we are. In a nutshell, if you had to become the chief executive officer of this country called Kenya, what are the first 3 things that you'd fix?
I've always said that, and I've said it here as well, that Kenya is one of the richest countries in the world. And one of the things that is bedeviling us is actually our style of governance, our style of leadership. For me, I think that is my number one priority, because there is no country in the world that will prosper without transformational leadership. The people you put in charge of delivering services to your people, there must be people who are capable of saying, of actually delivering. So you must look for merit. Yeah, for me, so that's number one. Who is it that I'm actually putting in charge to deliver services to the people of Kenya under my administration? For me, that's number one. Number two, theft of public money is a big issue in this country, and we must confront it. Duncan.
Yes.
I want to change the lingua. This idea that there's corruption.
Yes.
What is corruption? Even in my own mother tongue, I don't know what corruption means. But I know theft.
Yes.
And if we can just stop theft of public money,
yes,
yeah, we have enough money to be able to develop this country.
Yes.
Yeah, and to make Kenya proud. And of course, the other issue for me is the question of representation.
Yes.
And that again goes back to the question of leadership. Because yes, you cannot run a government as an executive, but when you have got very poor representation, where in the National Assembly, in Parliament.
Yes.
So I think those are for me my key priority issues. But also, like I said, and I repeat again, that I will ensure that I industrialize and take advantage of every economic opportunity that exists in this country, because there is an economic opportunity in all the 47 counties of Kenya, or even in the all 1,450 wards of this country.
At least there's something.
And there's something that you can actually industrialize, and that will transform this country.
Thank you. Daktari, two things that we wrap up. One is you've spoken about issues of representation as one of the areas that you'd be keen on. But we know that touches at the core of the constitution. One of the reasons as to why BBI failed, all the courts were in agreement that recourse was not available for the president, the executive. That popular initiative rests with the people. We've seen attempts even post BBI. The president wrote a memorandum to the Houses of Parliament seeking some piecemeal, I would call them, post amendments. Could you please speak to us with under the doctrine of ripeness? Is Kenya, I'm a law school dropout. So for those who are in school with me must recognize that at least I picked that one. The doctrine of ripeness. Is Kenya ripe for a constitutional change or amendment? And what way would it be? And are we seeing a Punguza Mizigo initiative version 2?
So what I would say is this: there is no perfect constitution in the world. In fact, like I said, constitutions are negotiated agreements.
Yes.
And there is also what you can take, what you can leave, what you can survive with.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
The wisdom in creating Article 255, 256, and 257 is to assure Kenyans at the right time when you assess the implementation of your constitution. When you assess the implementation of your constitution, is there something you may wish to change? Yes. So that's where your question comes in.
Yes.
So it's possible that, like now, we have assessed, are the counties actually functioning as we postulated? There is more corruption in the county. People are now saying, I think we devolve corruption.
Correct.
And that's why for me, I favor the idea, maybe we need to start thinking about working more with the wards than with the counties.
Correct.
And at the right time, we can even reduce this kind of... Actually, I don't see the purpose of the counties going forward. But we can use wards. And that's the idea of taking services to the people. People's doorstep.
Basic units.
Basic unit delivery. So for me, yes, ripeness can arise anytime. Depending on the issue you want to fix. Depending on your own assessment. Now we know that we have more members of parliament, which we actually don't need.
Correct.
Because some of them even do not know each other.
They don't even hardly speak in the house for 5 years.
Exactly.
Correct.
And then now if you look at that in terms of meaningful debating. How can you be asked to debate on a very important issue like the housing levy for 2 minutes, 1 minute? This is a very serious issue. So it now means we now need to think about that parliament. Do we need such a large parliament? Because we want members of parliament who can actually work and perform. So that's what we need. So ripeness can arise anytime.
Thank you. I want to look at this camera and talk to two people. talk to the Kenyan voter and talk to the Kenyan leader or an aspiring Kenyan leader.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think to the Kenyan leader and to the Kenyan voters, you are partners in the way in which the country is being governed. The Kenyan voter, you are the one who makes a choice of who your leader should be. You should be able to hold them accountable. To the Kenyan leader, stop betraying the will of the people of Kenya. Stop coming up with lies during election time and then changing goalposts. And I'll speak, for example, to the question of to this KK administration. They claimed they had a plan. Now they are saying the reality is different. And if you look at the people, these leaders, they are not newcomers in government. These are people who have held very high position in parliament. They have held, they have been in government for the longest time. So let's stop the long con. It's about Kenya. It's about the common good, the common interest of this country. And I think let's be proud, both as Kenyans in electing credible leaders, but also as leaders in transforming this country, taking this country forward.
Thank you so much, Daktari. They say that all is well, that starts well, must end well. And clearly I cannot thank you more than that, because I know my viewers would have wanted us to continue, but as we've already indicated that as and when the call is made, we'll be here and available for a ratio. We thank you so much for finding time to talk to Kenyans and to Africans, talk to the globe. And as we say, here the point, ours is to inform, educate, and impact lives. And we thank you so much for being part and parcel of this. And to our viewers, we thank you so much for supporting us this far. And those who have not subscribed, we request that we click on the button of subscribe and then subscribe so that you can be able to be part and parcel of this production. Otherwise, thank you so much. Asante sana, Daktari. Happy to host you some other time.
Cheers, Duncan.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.